Hey guys, how's it going? Haven't done a video in quite some time, but figured I would go ahead and get back into it. Usually I do some how-tos or some reviews on products that I purchase. You know, I'll go for an eBay snorkel kit or eBay turbos or stuff like that. But today I've got a 2018 F-150. I've had it for about 6 months now. Do a lot of driving, a lot of seat time in this thing with my new job. But one of the upgrades I got when I purchased the truck cost me $1,000, and wanted to switch the cloth out for leather. Well, they tell me that they've got a shop that does it. I thought it was originally going to be factory leather, so when I figured out that it was aftermarket, I was quite worried. I asked them several questions about it and wanted to know if they've had any problems with it, if it's coming back, have people not been satisfied with fitment. I thought, you know, they were basically just gonna wrap my cloth seats and send it back to me on a brand new 4-door F-150. It's kind of an expensive truck anymore. I didn't want something that was, you know, gonna depreciate my truck before I even drove it off the lot. So they assured me that it was good, and these things are who they use all the time and never have any complaints, and that I would be impressed. So I went ahead and agreed to it. I paid the $1,000 up front, which seems to be like a good deal from some of the other prices and stuff I've seen on it. But it come with the driver's seat, passenger seat, and the rear seats. And the front two are heated, and they still work just fine. They might take a little bit longer to heat up than normal, just because the leather is, you know, actually quite thick. But they still work just fine. And I would imagine the cooled seats work just as well too, but I don't have that option on my truck. But if you're thinking about doing it, I would say that look into the different colors they have. I didn't know that. I thought that they would go through and see which color best fit my truck and put that in, which I think they did, but I also wish I would have went with a little bit darker gray. But as far as the review goes, the company that put my seat covers on it's somebody local here in Missouri, but the name brand of the seat cover itself is Catskin. And some people might have heard about them before, but I'm actually thoroughly impressed with the product. It fit perfect. It looked factory. You can't really tell, except for their tag is on it, which I didn't really like. It's a very small tag, which I'll show you that here in a minute. The front and rear seats fit perfect. After about 2 weeks of them being on, I kind of noticed a little bit of a film on them. I wasn't quite sure what that was, but it was almost kind of a darker film. And I thought I just kind of chalked it up to them being new. Maybe they use that stuff to preserve the leather on them, but I'm not sure. So I wiped them all off, wiped them clean, just with some leather wipes from O'Reilly's or Advanced Auto or whatever you have local to you, and had to scrub them kind of hard. But once that stuff come off, they look like new again, and I really haven't seen it since. They don't obviously look as new as they did 6 months ago, but that's kind of a good sign, because that means they're going to hold up for me. They don't have a lot of big problems. They're not sagging anywhere. There's no rips or tears. There's no stretched threads. There's no ripped threads. There's no real off shading of the color, and that film stuff doesn't happen anymore. So something to look out whenever you first get it. You might notice that, but it's no big worry, no big scare. It comes right off with a little bit of elbow grease, and you'll be good. So I'm gonna pull over here. I've been kind of driving on this back road, but I'm gonna pull over up here soon, and I'll show you guys the seats themselves. All right, now outside the truck here, it's a 2018 FX4. See a picture of it here. It's a 4-door. I like the truck, but that's a whole different review itself. Going inside here, we'll go to the back seats first. The back seats, you can see everything still works on it. Leather looks nice. Everything still folds up and down just fine. The threading's nice, and I've got two girls. I've got a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old that ride back here constantly. I've got a 70-pound German Shepherd that rides back here, and that's what the floor mats from Ford are for. They do a great job keeping their spills and the dog's hair and stuff out of the truck. But as you can see here, the stitching looks great. The seats themselves underneath looks factory. Got the pockets in the back, they're not stretched out or hanging. The seams and everything are just fine. The zippers, the head mount still moves, and they just work great. These are electric seats, but here's the tag I was talking about that I'm not a big fan of. Wish that wasn't on there, but I can live with that for how well these things work. I can see them wanting to represent themselves as much as they can. Here's the other side, the driver's side. And it as well folds up and down just fine. And go on the driver's side front one. Obviously I sit in this for several hours of the day, most days, putting several, I think I've already got 20,000 miles on this truck, maybe 25. I've had it for 6 months. This shows you how much I'm in this and how much these seats are being used. So if you're thinking about upgrading to a leather, for the price that I got of only being $1,000, it's a pretty good deal in my honest opinion, instead of going with the full-blown package from Ford. If I had the chance to have them both for the same price, I would probably still go with the factory Ford ones, and maybe a darker color that matched my middle console. But other than that, these things are doing good, and we're gonna keep putting them to good use, and hopefully it'll last as long as the truck does. So that's all I've got for you today. If you guys have any questions or comments, concerns, you want any more answers or any close-ups of anything, feel free to message me below, and I'll try to get those back over to you. Thanks.